Hi, and welcome to week 3 of Running Your Business Like a Business. In this week's lesson, our topic is business planning, which is one of my favorite topics. But before we get into that, just to recap, in week 1, we covered laying the foundation for running your business like a business. And I hope you're now familiar with the website and have downloaded the app on the Teachable app on your iPhone. Those are going to be great tools in helping you get through this program. And of course, in week 2, we covered discovering your why. And hopefully you have a written why statement now, which is, I know probably is going to change a bit over the next several weeks, but the important thing is that you have something written down. Additionally, in both weeks, you had some prospecting assignments for making your phone calls and setting up your face-to-face meetings. And frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see tremendous results from those face-to-face meetings in the very near future. Remember, it's the face-to-face meetings and the phone calls that are the highest producing activity that you can be doing outside of actually writing purchase and sale contracts. And you're going to see why here in the next few minutes as we go through the business planning portion of this course. You know, the key to doing all this type of training is you got to do it, and you got to do it consistently. And I know you will experience tremendous results if you just have the faith and the commitment that it takes to work through the program and really digest the material. Try to block a consistent time when you're going to sit down, listen to the videos, and do the exercises every week, and it's going to make a huge impact. So let's get to this week's lesson. So this week we are going to go over business planning, and as Ben Franklin said, a failure to plan is a plan to fail, and I really do believe that. You know, when doing my live seminars, I always pass out a survey at the beginning of every seminar, and in one of the questions I ask, do you have a business plan? According to my results of over 1,200 respondents, I can tell you that only 30% of the agents actually do have a business plan. And to me, that's crazy. It's no wonder that most people who enter our business get out within 2 years. So this week we're going to start changing that. And for those of you who are part of the 30% and do have a business plan, then guess what? This is your opportunity to create your next year's business plan or refine the one that you have if you're in the middle of the year. So let's get to it. Now, I show this slide at the beginning of every course because it encompasses graphically to me what running your business like a business is all about. And that is to make money and eventually create financial freedom for yourself so you don't have to work. Like any corporation, you need to know how much it is going to take to pay your bills and taxes, and then you need to determine how much money or profit you need to make it all worthwhile. I call that knowing your line. And the line represents what you need to make to move yourself forward financially. And believe me, every successful business knows exactly what it's going to take to make a profit. Now, if we boil it down to the individual real estate agent, it's a little bit different because we need to factor in what we are spending at home as well, in addition to what we're spending on our business and our taxes, what our tax consequences are going to be, right? So that's something that I never, fully understood before I started running my business like a business back in 2007, and it's what got me and many other agents in deep trouble when the Great Recession hit in 2008. So this week we are going to start in on determining what our business expenses will be, but we can't fully do that until we have a plan to build a budget around. We will get to our home budget and taxes in a few weeks, but for now I want to focus on developing our business plan. So what is a business plan and what does one look like? Well, there are a lot of people who teach business planning and a lot of opinions out there on how to do it. And frankly, before 2007, like I said, I never had a business plan, and I was intimidated to even start one because I thought they were complex to write, and I also thought I would never really use it. But as you'll see, my way of business planning is simplified and it's more graphic in nature than a lot of other business planning formats. And that's because I want to make it simple, but I also want you to use it regularly to help guide you in your decision making. And you're going to see that here again over the next few slides. So a business plan creates a roadmap to show you who you're going to focus on, how you're going to develop deeper relationships with those people, and how many deals you expect to get from your efforts. It should be easy to write, easy to understand, address your business and income goals, and I think this is crucial, be in a highly visible place so you can see it and refer back to it on a regular basis. I used to like to keep mine taped up next to my computer desk in my office, but now we have a dedicated tab in the black book which is part of our silver level training. And the reason that is important is that we're all faced with decisions about our business and how we spend our time every day. And by having a plan, it keeps us focused on the right things, and it doesn't allow us to get off track. Or it makes us think, if we're presented with some compelling idea, that does this really fit with what I'm trying to do according to my plan? And here's a classic example of that. Some people will call you, or you'll get a cold call and ask you if you're interested in receiving more buyer leads. After all, who wouldn't want more leads? So you sign up, spend a bunch of money, and probably commit to a year, only to find out that these leads are not really that good. You got 95% of them that's just wasting your time, plus they don't fit within your area of interest. Maybe you want to be selling luxury homes and the leads you're getting are for $100,000 condo buyers. So many agents, when they get first started in the business, they get suckered into these types of sales traps. Now, I'm not saying that these don't work or that none of them work. It's just that you have to have a business plan and a budget. If you do that, you're going to be it'll be easier for you to decide if you have the time and resources to add something to what you're already trying to do. Does that make sense? So getting back to the basic structure of our plan, the top part of the column tells us who we're going to focus on. The middle part tells us how we're going to develop deeper relationships with those people. And the bottom part, the gray box, tells us how many deals we expect from our efforts. Now, why is that important? Well, one is we achieve what we tell ourselves we're going to achieve. So if you write something down, well, it's going to be more likely that it's actually going to happen. The other thing that it does is that by writing a concrete goal down, it's going to take a huge step in actually helping you measure your results. So you can see at the end of the year, did my plan work? And if not, why? And if it did, how can I do actually more of that? So it's going to be giving you some feedback. In this example business plan, which I'm actually putting up right now, my real business plan from 2008, by the way, you can see that I've chosen to focus my time on 5 areas. Now you can choose 3, 5, 6, I don't really care, but you just have to make sure that you have the time and resources to really do it. As you can see, I put the personal sphere in the center of my plan. And why would I do that? Because from my entire years of experience, I'm 100% convinced that relationships are the key to selling real estate. And no matter which way the winds are blowing in the industry, meaning is it a buyer's or seller's market, your sphere will be that part which consistently produces for you. These are the people, again, that know you, like you, trust you, and they're your friends and family and acquaintances. So they're the biggest part of my business and most successful agents' businesses. You can also see that I have chosen to focus here on builders and landowners. That's the new construction column. A neighborhood farm, a networking group within my church, and REO banks. So what does this mean? It means that I'm first developing a database of people in those areas of life. We all have activities that we like to do and organizations that we are a part of. And if you don't, you need to think of some and get involved. Real estate, again, it's a contact sport. It's a contact profession. And the bigger and more influential people you can network with, the more money you're going to make. However, consider this. Choose areas that are genuinely interesting to you. That's going to make you 10 times more successful than if you choose areas to focus on just because of the money potential. Now, if you're having problems thinking of who to focus on, take a look at this slide I'm going to put up right now, which I've kind of brainstormed and put into 6 buckets, which I think cover everything. But of course, if you have others, ideas, please comment below. The first would be a geographic focus, like a neighborhood farm, maybe specific schools or school district. Maybe you want to focus on open houses. Particularly if you're a newer agent, you might want to have open houses. Well, try to choose a geographic area that you're going to do open houses in. That would be an example, again, of a geographic focus. Then the next is the sphere we already talked about. Those are the people that know us, like us, and trust us. We've already essentially started on that with our top 40 list. It can also be a segment of the real estate business, like luxury homes. So there could be luxury homes, golf course homes, maybe new construction. You could throw condos into that as well, but that would be a segment. Next would be special interests, like investment clubs or networking groups like Toastmasters. That could be another bucket. The next might be a demographic focus. So we have millennials out there who are the biggest the biggest group that's coming up for buying homes now. We have the baby boomers who are downsizing. And last, and I never really thought of this, is personality profiles, which one of my students actually brought up in a class that I was giving. And she said that she found herself gravitating towards more engineering types. They seemed to like her technical analysis of the market. And so she started focusing on software engineers and networking through sites like LinkedIn to get those kinds of contacts into her database. And I thought that was really interesting. But again, whatever and whoever you choose to go after, make sure it gets you excited to do it. Don't just pick random areas to focus on. I love this next slide because it really demonstrates the point I'm trying to make, which is when you're choosing an area of focus, just know that in any area, the further you get away from you, the less effective and more expensive your marketing and sales efforts are going to be. So let me say that again. The further you get away from you, the more expensive your marketing and sales efforts are going to be. These are not exact numbers, but I did get them from the National Association of Realtors at one time, and it shows the conversion rates of different kinds of leads. And as you would expect, personal referrals are the highest converting leads that we can get. So the first thing a new agent does typically with their marketing, though, is they start sending out a bunch of postcards to neighborhoods where they don't know anybody, and then 6 months later, they spend all this money and are left wondering why they have no calls or no leads. So we don't want that to happen to you. So moving on, the who we are going to focus on is at the top. The how we're going to develop deeper relationships with those people is the next thing that we're going to really look at. So there's 3 ways that we can do that. The first is digital contact. This is emails, e-newsletters, your website, social media, and e-advertising like AdWorks or Facebook advertising. The next is print media. This is postcards, letters, magazines. And of course, the last part is the personal contact. Now, here's a great slide, I think, that graphically shows the effectiveness of each marketing or sales effort. As you can see, digital marketing is not that effective in and of itself, but it is also not that expensive. Print media is a little more effective, I think, because people can see it and hold it in their hands, but it is more expensive than digital contact. Whereas the personal contact, well, that's the most expensive part because it's taking up our time. It's not that leverageable, but it is also the most effective. And that, my friends, is why I'm having you start off with the prospecting part of this lesson, or the lessons on perfecting your skills at personal contact, because it's the fastest way to getting deals. So the more you do of it, the faster your business is going to take off. But here's the key point of all this. You've got to do all 3 at the same time to truly remain top of mind when it comes to practicing real estate brokerage. We need to be in front of people at least 3 times per month to optimize our effectiveness. So how do we do that? Well, my friends, that is the marketing plan, which we'll be covering in the coming weeks. So to wrap this all up, because I know I've been talking a long time, your assignment here is to choose the templates provided here below, or make one of your own if you want. Really think about what you're passionate about and what gets you excited to wake up and go to work every day. If you're a veteran, think about what you enjoy, what's been working in your business, and maybe an area that you'd like to expand into where you could get really pumped up about it. Also, think about the overall market and where we're headed. Are we going to be in a seller's market? Are we going to be in a buyer's market? Where will the hot neighborhoods be? What types of people are going to be buying and at what price points? Your ability to choose the right strategy is going to directly impact the success that you're going to have. So make sure you take some time on this lesson. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and please go to step 2, where I'm going to give you your next prospecting assignment, because again, it's the most important thing that you can be doing to get business now. I'll see you in week 4, where I'll be talking more on how to create relationships that last through your marketing plan. So thanks for listening, and have a great day.